Well, we're back at it. It's a nice trip to Arizona. We didn't enjoy the weather. We just had a good game, got out of there, and we're back at it, getting ready for this game that's coming up. Dave just reminded me it's a Thursday night game, and so we better get going. So he's kind of been pushing me a little bit. It's a good opportunity for us to get back-to-back divisions games and kind of get it mixed up right here early in the season. We love playing on Thursday night, and whenever we get those chances, we enjoy that. It's great to be here with the fans and all. I think it's worth noting that this is a special occasion, celebrating Paul and all that he stood for the Seahawks in the Northwest and all of that. And there's going to be a program for him before the game starts, so we encourage the 12s to get there early and enjoy it and have some fun. Here Jody's raising the flag, which is great. I can't wait to see that. And it should be a big event, a big night, so it should be a lot of fun for everybody. This is a really good football team that we're going to go up against. I don't know, you guys may want to be talking about the last game, but I'm out of that one. So I'll go with this one. You can take me back there. This is a really good football team we're playing, and we're steeped into that right now. They've been great ever since Sean McVay got there, and they're off to a really good start again. They had a rough game yesterday, unusual game for them, but they got all kinds of firepower. They're loaded, and it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to take everything. It's a game we need to play. We need to be involved in games like this. If you're going to have a good season, you got to be able to match up and play these kinds of games and do a good job. So I'm looking forward to it.
The numbers show a big difference, Pete. What are you seeing in Todd Gurley maybe this year and in the end of last year as compared to
just it hasn't been quite as explosive, as it has been. I threw for 520 yesterday, so it's pretty big. But the games have been tough games that they've had. All their games have been fought, hard to get the wins, and yesterday they were fighting from behind the whole time, so that was really unusual for them. But he's working hard, but the numbers aren't there that in support of how he finished last year. He was 100 plus rated quarterback. It's hard to get that done, and had a great couple of years going into it. But this year they're not quite there yet. But very, very dangerous football team, and he leads a big time attack.
Yes, sir.
You've established such a reputation for being dominant at home, but the Rams are one of the few teams the last couple of years who've been able to win here. How important is it for you guys to establish that home field advantage, especially against it?
If you're going to have a good season, you gotta be good at home, and these games are going to come with big challenges, and we got to come through. This is a big deal. Every one of them is. This is a championship matchup, and we're going to try to rise to that and make sure that that's where we are, championship football.
I feel like everyone has experience with an old friend that maybe they haven't seen in a while, haven't talked to in a couple of years or whatever, and then you see them or talk to them, and it's like no time ever passed. I feel like that's kind of like, maybe cheesy,
I can't
but
wait to hear you. To
relate to what Luke Willson is with this team and that relationship.
Yeah, I had no idea where that was going. Yeah, Luke came in I think Tuesday night, and got here and showed up here late to get signed up and all, and the coaches came out of the offices to meet him in the hallway, and it was like a celebration. Rarely is it ever like that. This is an unusual player, a gifted personality and spirit. The bringing him back to the program was exactly like you said. We didn't miss a step. The coaches were thrilled to get him back. The players that knew him, same. The guys that don't know him are kind of wondering what the heck's going on with this guy, because they can't understand why it's so obvious to the rest of us. It's great to have him on the team. He had a fantastic week. He didn't skip a beat in terms of the installation that was going on for the game plan. He went out and played the football game and played well and made a couple of big plays and just added to it all. So we were very fortunate that we were able to, replace that loss with a guy like Luke, and he's one of a kind.
Is he one of the more unique personalities you've ever coached? He's kind of like he's got a big personality, but kind of knows his place.
He's on my all-time. Yeah, he's on my all-time team. He would definitely be there, and he's just so valuable as a spirit on your team. Because he's so upbeat and been so tough. He's been unbelievably durable and overcome stuff, and he's just been. And he's a good performer, and he runs fast, and he looks great. He's in great shape. He's done a great job staying in shape. His hair's back and all that kind of stuff. He looks good.
4 games in, quarter of the way, just where do you kind of see this team through these first 4 games?
It's a solid start. It's a solid start. A lot of teams in the same position we're in, so we haven't separated from anybody, which is hard to do anyway at this time. But it's a good, solid start, and with one lousy outing, that we gave a game away, and to a really good team as we see, and so. I like where we are at this point, and with this chance, I like this matchup right now, kicking into the second quarter of the season, and here we go. We'll see what happens.
Regarding Paul Allen, when you were before you signed here and you were talking to Paul, what did he say or do that made him sound different to you than your previous experience with NFL owners? What happened?
The messaging really that started with Todd Lewicki. He was the guy I was dealing with for the most part, and Paul kind of came in to kind of close in and support the kind of the offering of what they're talking about, in the role of this position and all that. I was easily convinced that he meant what he was saying. I had not been easily convinced of that in that same discussion with other clubs over the years, and. Everything he said came true. Everything he stood for was real, and Todd had assured me that it would be and all that, but then just after talking to Paul, I just had no doubt, and it was a very difficult decision to leave where I was coming from, but I was really excited about the chance because of the challenge of it all, and basically because of his support. I came here because of him. I came here because he was the one that said, it'll be like this, you can have this opportunity, you'll be in charge, and on, and I was convinced.
How did he say that in a way that it wasn't just somebody you...
I don't know. I think it was. I got to give a lot of credit to Todd. It was the combination of Todd building it up and making it really clear, and he well understood what we were talking about, and then Paul hit all the marks, and I had followed him. I'd had people that had been around the organization before, and just known of him for years, and. I don't know, it just seemed to click just right, and just made sense. And so I feel very fortunate that this ever happened, and it happened in the way that it did, and it turned out the way it has. It's exactly what they had presented from the start.
The strong record that you guys have in primetime games over the last 9 seasons, whatever it is, how much do you think that is just the way that you approach those games?
I don't know that. There's something's going on, There's something's in the water. I don't know to try to speak to that very specifically, but I'd like to think we got a beat on it, and we're gonna go for it again. Count on the way we do it and the way we present it to the players and how we do our work in the week in setup to this kind of thing. But it hasn't just been Thursdays, it's been Mondays and Sunday nights too. So I think there's something to it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Going through the Thursday night, now that it's every year you got to play one of these, have you sort of learned anything, I guess, going through it on how to prepare for Thursday night?
Yeah, we have. We definitely have a routine and a real clear process to go through to help the players be ready and to recover from the Sunday game to get ready to play football. And I don't know how other teams do it, but I know the way we've developed it, and we feel real confident and we've had success. So. I think there's real specific stuff that you got to do to get done.
Did you practice today?
Pardon me?
Did you practice today?
Not yet. Okay, we haven't even met with the team yet. They come in.
A walkthrough then today?
We'll be together today after we're done here.
How different are these?
Depending on how long this goes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. What's the difference? I'm guessing the physicality isn't even close to what a normal week is. What's the difference in these practices the next 3 days?
Well, they are different. On this day, we're still in recovery mode, and so you have to try to maximize the recovery and get you guys ready to go. So, I don't think I need to share all the stuff that we do, so I'm not gonna. But we do look after them, and you can't practice much. You can't practice in the same fashion that you normally do because it's the day before the game, before you know it. So. But it's really important to look after the recovery aspect of this, so that they can be at the best, so that they can they can play and get ready. And they have to still learn. They have to still practice. You got to still go through reps and all that kind of stuff. But you got to find your way to do that.
How did Chris make it out of the game yesterday?
He's fine. He's fine. He played a great football game.
You've commended Sean McVay for kind of sticking to who he is, that commitment to his philosophy, his style, and all that. Do you usually see that in young coaches? Or does that take a while?
No, I think it's kind of rare. I think it's rare. I mean, they're not always. There's a lot of young guys that are trying, and we'll watch. We'll see what happens, and root for him and all that. But I think he's been a rare example of a guy who has been clear on what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. Did not try to do it like other people in many ways. Had his own thoughts about it, which I totally admire. And now as guys get started, it's okay. You could get off to a good start, and then you got to sustain. You got to figure out how to adapt and all that. And that's he's in year 3, so he's working at it. But he's fortunately for him and his program, they've been operating on the top end of it. They've been winning and getting out in front of it and all that. And here they go again. So I think it's unusual. He's opened the doors for a lot of young coaches, though, which is great. A lot of guys are getting chances, kind of in hopes that they can pull off what he did. I don't think it has to do with how old you are. I think it has to do more with who you are and what you're all about, and your experiences and all of that. And can you put it together? And can you hold it together? It's hard. It's hard to do this.
How would you kind of view the 4 games of pass rush for you, and how Clowney and Ansah worked into the mix, and where you kind of feel you're at with that group at this point?
I don't feel like we're anywhere near where we're going to get to. I think we can be a formidable rush in effect in our defense, but we're still working to bring it together. And so I think the guys did better this week than last week. And they were more forceful and more active and involved. And so we'll see how we go. I'm really counting on those guys and feeling better. It's game 3 for them, 3rd game of preseason. So they're doing the best they can, and the guys have been great attitude-wise, work habits, practice habits. They've really done everything that they could do with the moments and the opportunities they've had. So we're getting there.
Given your time in the league, is there a magic number that it takes, though, for those guys to get on the same page and to form a very formidable?
I wish I knew that. I don't know. I don't have that. It just depends on how things roll, and how it happens. I don't think we're off to a fast start. I think we're just getting going, and I don't know how much longer I can keep telling you guys that, but I feel like I have been for a while. But it does feel like that, It feels like we're new, Michael Kendricks had 2 sacks yesterday, It should have had 3, Where'd that come from? That we're just getting going, and so that adds to everybody's play. It was great to see Michael, have an active game, and Ziggy got his sack, and obviously JD had a big impact in the game. So we're seeing glimpses here that take us to a place we'll really be excited about.
How did you feel LJ played, Collier?
He did fine. He did fine. Played about 20 plays and was active. Had a couple nice plays, nice tackle on the draw. Some good stuff.
Kendricks hit. What did you think of that when you saw it again?
I think it's the call that the guys are making, the timing of it. He did a good job to get out and not hit with his head, and not hit the receiver high, where as we're supposed to avoid. He's in the strike zone. I think that in that decision, if you could avoid it, you should. That's kind of how we look at it. Because if they think you could have avoided it, they're throwing a flag, and but more importantly, technically, had he made the hit with his other shoulder, his left shoulder in that case, I think it would have been more acceptable, because it's happened so fast you can't tell if it's helmet to helmet or not, which I don't think it was, but because he totally threw his body to get out of it. He knew he was in one of those hits, so he tried to get out of it with his head, which he did a good job. But it still was bang bang, and they thought that, they saw it that way. So we'll get I don't have the explanation yet, but I won't be surprised if they support the call. And it's because we're trying to take care of guys, and that was a big hit.
What was the reason for having Lano in there and placing Tedrick for a few plays?
He deserved to play. I wish we would have played more. Just 'cause he played well in the last couple of weeks. Just because a guy comes back doesn't mean he doesn't play at all. And they're still competing, and I want to keep it competitive. I wish it would have been a little bit more balanced. For Lano's opportunity to show what he could do too, it just makes us stronger and better going down the road. I thought Tedrick played a good game. The guys did a really nice job on the back end yesterday, and thwarted some special plays and bombs and fake things that they tried to get him on, and they did a nice job in that. Kept the ball underneath us all day long and really controlled what otherwise could be a really explosive passing game.
What does Marquise need to do to get involved in that mix too?
It's hard. He just got to keep battling, you know. He just got to keep battling. The reps and the available opportunities aren't very, you know, very apparent. You know, you got to work it out through practice. Got to work through special teams in every way that you can. And it gets down to numbers, you know. And now that Lando and Tedrick are back, you know, okay, where does he fit? He's got a chance to be as good as anybody we have, and he's shown that already. But the time and the opportunities are really rare and kind of, you know, they're minimized right now. So I'd love to see him play because we know you guys have seen him too. He's got flash to him that we love to have on the field. So he's got to keep working and keep the competition open and give him as many chances as we can.
How would you, Bobby's first 4 games? Seems like maybe he's been a little bit more quiet than we're used to seeing from his, just because the bar he sets in front of himself is so high.
Gosh, I don't know how many tackles does he have. He's got to have 45 tackles. You know, I mean he's averaging over 10 a game. I think he's doing great. He's leading the whole crew, and everything's going fine. Maybe the big plays, explosive plays, haven't happened yet, but you know, he's out there thumping. I think he's doing great.
Since practices are so limited this week, what will you need to see from Rashad to know that the hamstring's healthy?
Now it's just about time. He looked ready to play. He looked like he could have gone, and it was kind of defying the time frames for a hamstring to be ready in 8 days. You know. Of the severity that it was, so he will do running. He'll do more running than other guys, you know, because he didn't play and all, and we'll be able to test him. But in the actual practice reps, there won't be many opportunities for him to show more. So we are anticipating that he's healthy, and unless there's other reason to think otherwise.
Is there a defensive player you have to plan for more than Aaron Donald in terms of just how disruptive he can be?
No, he's as dominant a factor as you can get. You know, he's right in the middle of the formation. He can make plays in a run and a pass. His explosive style, you know, he's so fast for a defensive tackle. He's so much faster than almost anybody. And it shows up in that explosive quickness that he uses. And he knows all the tricks too, you know. So he's an extraordinary, you know, factor, and we have to pay full attention to him.
How big of a stride have you seen Shaquille Griffin just make overall through
He looks good. He looks good. You know, he looks really active. He's made consistent plays. You've seen him knock balls down kind of in consistent fashion, almost week in, week out. Doing a good job on top, on the deep balls, and so he's playing great football, I think. No, he is. You know, he's doing great. So.
Russell through 4 games, just your overall impression of him?
I think he's off to his best start ever. I don't know what it looks like numbers-wise, but I think it is. He's, you know, I don't think he's ever been more accurate than he's been, and more consistent and in command of everything, you know. So I think he's off to a great start. I mean, I don't care how big the numbers are. I'm not talking about how many yards or whatever. His play has just been really, really sharp.
It seemed like Travis Homer had a bigger special teams role maybe yesterday. Just what have you seen out of him, and how did the special teams
he's been just exactly what you want out of a rookie guy that makes the team, lower pick, battles his way through camp, shows good stuff in everything he's ever done. He's the leading effort guy in the special teams group. He just seems so consistently on. And it's not all the tackles; it's just his chase and his willingness, and you know, he's doing a great job.
Cooper Kupp's pretty clearly become the favorite target of Jared. Is it something scheme-wise they do to?
I think they missed him so much that they're getting back, trying to make up for it. Jeez, he's just doing everything. He's just a fantastic player. He just is. You know, you guys might not recognize how much he blocks and what a contributor he is in other ways, you know, to go along with the catches and the catch and run. You know, he's a fantastic player. He's got touchdowns and most catches and all that stuff. And he's always on the field. He's always out there somewhere doing something, you know, and you have to always be wary of him because he just seems to have the knack for, you know, getting things done. And they know it, and they use the heck out of him.
What did happen to Ethan, to his back?
I think I'm a little bit out of my lane here, but he had a vertebrae. What do you call those things on the flange? No, he had. Let's not guess that way. It's something in his neck that bothered him. I can't remember what those are called, facets or something like that. Maybe the facet has a little something going on there that was real painful, really discomforting, and He couldn't. He tried getting back last week, and he couldn't use it. So we just have to wait. We don't know if he'll make it by Thursday either. I'm not sure.
With the
That's
base of-
really a terrible explanation for that injury. God, what's up?
The base and the 4-3, the three linebackers, what have you seen that maybe you didn't expect? What's activity you weren't anticipating?
No, I'll go the other way. I was anticipating it was going to be really good. I was really excited about this, and because of the, just the overall package of each guy, they're so wary. Not wary. So just aware of the game in broad sense. They understand principles and approaches and technique and philosophy and all of the stuff. They're all playmakers. They're all mobile, versatile athletes, and to have those guys on the field, I mean, I like the power that they bring, and the hitting that they bring, the magnitude in the stops that they make, as opposed to smaller guys that can be out there running around. You think of the game as turned into all these little fast guys, and maybe it has. I don't know. Maybe we're missing it. But right now, I like the way these guys are playing, and I thought that as they would develop together and the kind of the mental side of it, the chemistry and the camaraderie of it could give us something unique. And so we're off to a pretty good start. We'll see how it goes. And, we got to have a lot of packages available this week. We got all kinds of problems with these guys. And so we'll see some of that, but, we'll have to wait.
Was there a time in your career that you've done that before, used as much base personnel as you have to know that it could work like this?
Back in San Francisco. Yeah, when we were in San Francisco at the Niners, in those predominantly the first year of the 2 years I was there. We played a lot. We had really good players and didn't have to take guys off the field, so it's not the first time.
Was Ken Norton Jr. on that?
Yeah. Lee Woodall and Gary Plummer and Tim McDonald and Merton Hanks. It was a good group now. Eric Davis.
Has Michael Kendrick's been more adept as a
Marquise
rusher?
Pope.
Has Kendrick's been more adept as a rusher than maybe you first anticipated?
Dennis Stubblefield. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys. Dennis Brown. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Kendrick's pass rusher, a little bit more adept maybe than you anticipated?
Boy, as soon as we took a look at him, we saw that he's got a really unique style about his play. He's really fast and he's really explosive and he's got unbelievable flexibility. So he showed us that kind of in the blitz things that we saw right off the bat. He ran 4.4, so it's not like he's a lumbering linebacker out there, so our guys can fly. So it shows up. And he had 3 great rushes and 2 sacks out of them. He just airballed one of them. But, it's kind of fun to watch him do it.
How encouraged are you by Ziggy Ansah making it through that back injury that you got the questionable tag going in? Looks like there was no setback.
Yeah. He's a tough dude now. He's tough, and he shows it. He had some great chase plays yesterday. Came out of the stack and made a couple hits downfield and out on the perimeter. It's the stuff that we saw in the film when he played in the early part of last year that really was attracting to us. He was, for a big old great looking athlete, he's tough and physical and looking to hit somebody, and so he showed that. And it kind of came to life more than the first game, so it was great to see. And even with like somebody mentioned about, he was questionable going in, so he's a tough guy that really adds to our team.
When you've got D linemen making tackles way downfield like that, I remember you used to rave about like a Tuba Rubin chasing guys down. What does that show you about the player in terms of effort?
That's one of my favorite parts of ball is when big guys run and they go down and they make stuff happen, and we make a big deal about it around here. And it's the first highlight I'm looking to show is, I can't get enough of Al Woods chasing the football, But it's a big part of team defense, and it's everybody giving great effort all the time, every chance you get, and it's for whatever reason, for all of the natural aspect of really big guys don't like to run that far, and so when they do, it just adds to the whole spirit of what you're doing on defense.
How's Nico?
Nico's should be ready to go. He worked out really well last week. Was really close. He like with Rashad, he'll get some extra running to make sure that he's ready to go. But I think he's got a chance to play this week.
You mentioned this was a championship-style game coming up in a team.
So was this week we just played. Just so you know.
And, just going against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, do you think I know every week's a challenge, but it's a testament to where your team stands right now when you're facing a team that's coming from that kind of season?
No. It was a testament. I'm not sure how you asked that. It's a great matchup, you know, and it's a great opportunity to play on Thursday night against a division team and all that. You know, it was a nice championship matchup in the division on the road last week, you know, and it's, to us, every one of these games it's everything we possibly can muster in every aspect of everything we're doing. You know, it doesn't happen to matter that they're from LA, you know. They just happen to be a great football team, and it's going to call for us to really play great football, to have a chance to match it up. So that's what these games are for. We're learning how to play championship-style football and see if we can pull it together.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.